Good morning, students. Welcome to the 12th class. Myself, Rajesh Mehta, your economics teacher. Today, I'll be giving you guidance regarding economics. In economics, we have got two parts, macroeconomics and Indian economic development. So, I'll be discussing macroeconomics today and Unit 2 with topic money and banking. Everybody knows about money, and the system of money, I mean monetary system, is controlled by the banking system. Okay, so let me start the topic giving you all introduction about money, how money was evolved, how it was invented, and how it resolved the problems of barter system. Say, before the invention of money, we have got barter system. Because we did not have money, we were using barter system. In barter system, as everybody knows, goods are exchanged for goods. It means one person is having one thing, the other is having the other thing, they both are exchanging. Okay, but in that system, there were problems like coincidence of needs. Mean person A should need the goods of person B and person B should need the goods of person A. If there is no coincidence of needs, barter system was not possible. Mean exchange was not possible in that system. Another problem was medium and measure of exchange. Say measuring wheat and measuring the service like teaching, it was not possible there. How could you justify the equality of a service and a product like gold and a product like wheat, rice? So that was not possible. So there was problem of medium, there was problem of measure of value, right? Value means goods were there only. So goods were not to that extent that we can store, we can transfer. It was very tough storing goods for a long time. They may get rotten. Okay, transferring was costing lots of money. So there were problems of storing and transfer. Then there was problem of future payments. Suppose I have got a contract for 6 months and something has been fixed that I'll be getting this amount, this product after 6 months. So value of that product may not be the same. They may not be the universal. The product may be spoiled or there. So these problems were there with barter system. Then money was involved. Money was invented to solve the problems of barter system. And you may notice that with money nowadays it has become very easy to transact, very easy to exchange. So money is anything generally accepted and recognized by government as a medium of exchange, as a measure of value, as a store of value, and as a measure of deferred payments. They are all the functions of money, and you can define money by this way. So let me explain. You have coins, you have notes, that is money. So money can easily be used as a medium of exchange. Means you want to buy something, you'll ask how much it is, the seller will tell you the amount, you'll pay the money, you'll get the product. So this is how it is a perfect medium of exchange. Now measure of value, nowadays it's very easy to measure the value. Measuring value in barter system was tough. Because you may be having rice, he may be having gold, so that measure of value was not equal there. Nowadays, it's very easy. You can measure the value of a book, a pen, a phone, anything very easily in terms of money, and then transaction can be easily done. Thereafter, storing the value. You might know that storing money is very easy. You can store it at your home, in your locker, at bank, anywhere in terms of safety. So storing value in shape of money is very easy. Then transferring value, is also very easy nowadays. You can transfer money online by any method. Money is very easy to carry. You can carry it in briefcase, you can carry in your wallet, your purse, your pocket, and transferring money abroad to outstation anywhere, it's now easy now. So this is how money has solved many problems. Measure of deferred payments, if I say, future payments now have become very easy. We can enter into any contract of construction. The building will be constructed in 2 years. Money is fixed like 5 lakh, 6 lakh. So money has universal value. So deferred payments means future payments can be done very easily in terms of money. So they are the functions of money along with the definition of money. I think it is very clear now. Let me move. The next point is money supply. Oftenly the question is asked, what is money supply? Money supply is the total volume, is the total amount of money held by public at a particular point of time. Say, I can say on 31st March 2021, the volume of money or the stock of money is so many crores or Arabs or whatever it is. So how do you recognize, how do you measure the stock of money? How do you say that this is money supply? The components of money supply are CC, DD and TD. CC means currency, notes and coins. People may be having notes like 5 rupees note, 10 rupees note, 20 rupees, 100 rupees, 200 rupees, 500 rupees, 2000 rupees. They all notes held by the public, they are part of money supply. Then coins also. Thereafter, DD means demand deposits. Demand deposits are the deposits deposited in the bank, in the commercial banks. You may be having that balance of 2 lakh rupees, 5 lakh rupees and so on. Okay. So in your current account, in your savings accounts, whatever amount you are having in the banks, that is part of money supply, because you can demand it anywhere, anytime. Thereafter, TD, time deposits. Time deposit means fixed deposits. Public companies may be having fixed deposits. They are also part of money supply because that is also held there in the banks. So it is very clear that money supply is formed with currency, paper, notes and coins, demand deposits in the banks and post office also, because post office also work as banks. Then time deposits. Time deposit means fixed deposits with the banks. Okay. So this is how you can understand the barter system, the problems of barter system like this, and how barter system problems are resolved with the help of money, what is money and what is money supply. Okay. Hope everything is clear, right? Yes. After explaining everything about money, now I am going to the monetary system of our country. How money is is introduced into the economy, how it is supplied, how it is controlled. So we have got a monetary system, and in our monetary system we have got two things. One is central bank, the other one is commercial banks. Central bank is the monetary authority. Okay. It runs, it controls, it regulates all the monetary system of the country. In our country, we have got Reserve Bank of India, RBI. It is the monetary authority. Before understanding everything about the monetary authority, let's understand the system. In our country, we have got a banking system, perfect banking system, and the major component is commercial banks. Commercial banks deal with the public. Okay, we have got commercial banks in form of public banks, government banks as well as private banks. I may give you the examples of Punjab National Bank, State Bank of India, they are the government banks. Then ICICI Bank, ICICI Bank, HDFC Bank, Kotak Mahindra Bank, they are the examples of private banks. Now what do these commercial banks do? By the name it is clear, they are commercial. Their motive is to earn money. okay, and they deal in the money of the public, how they run, how they do the business. Their major business is accepting deposits and giving loans. Means whatever savings we have as public, as firms, whatever savings we have, we deposit it in the commercial banks. Okay. Now accepting deposits, the commercial banks give us interest, and as and when required, we get loans from these banks and we pay interest in return. And so many other functions they do, like they provide us local facilities, they give us plastic money, debit card, credit cards, they do payments of insurance, payments of taxes from our side, they provide us ECS system, you know, electronically we can transfer any amount anywhere. Okay, so many functions banks do for us. But you may be surprised how these banks, you know, function. They play with the money, they multiply our deposits, and the process is called credit creation. Okay, if you understand this system, you will be able to understand how banks function, how so many branches of the banks open, lots of staff is appointed, how their salaries are given, accepted, how they, you know, play with the money. Let's understand. Say every commercial bank, all commercial banks are as a unit. They are single unit. They are the child of central bank. They run in the system of central bank. Just like public schools, government schools, they run under CBSE. CBSE is the controlling body. The same way, central bank is the controlling body for commercial banks. Now, LRR, understand this, legal reserve requirement. This is fixed by central bank and commercial bank are bound to obey it. It means 20% of the reserve is must for all banks. They will have to keep either with themselves or with RBI 20% of the deposits, and the balance they can give as loans. Now with this table I will tell you how this 20% reserve and the balance amount being given as loan will multiply deposits in the economy. Say for example, the primary deposit of in any bank is 1000 rupees and the legal reserve requirement is 20%. It means out of 1000, 20% means 200 will be kept as reserve and 800 will be given as loan. Now this loan will never be given in cash. It will be in the form of bank draft, demand draft or a check. It means cash will not be given. So if cash will not be given, this 800 will go to some person and that will again be deposited in the other bank, single unit banking system. 800 will become the deposit. Now from this 800 again 20%, 160 will be reserve and 640 will be the loan. Again this 640 will be in the form of demand draft, bank check. That will deposit again in the banks and this process will go on. Deposits of the checks, deposits of the demand drafts will multiply the deposits and the credit will be created 5 times because it is 20%, 1/5 and 5 times will be the deposits, means 1000 will be 5000, and this is just a little example. So many banks will be having lots of deposits that will all be multiplied by this, and loans will also be multiplied, right, and reserve will also be there. This means the entire banking system runs on the public money and this money is multiplied by the way of credit creation. This is the main function of commercial banks. Now this will add to the money supply and money supply will be regulated, will be controlled by central bank because this is the monetary authority. It is the apex body which runs, which regulates the entire monetary system and the banking system of a country, and in our country it is Reserve Bank of India. Understand? Now what are the functions of central bank? Let me explain. First of all, it is issue of currency, means the sole authority of issue notes, currency in the economy goes to RBI, central bank. Central bank is the sole authority it is the only institution that can introduce, that can print currency and introduce in the economy. It works under Ministry of Finance. Finance Minister brings the option, the proposal of printing money, or on the advice of RBI even, it is decided that money will be introduced, currency will be printed, and the issue will be done by RBI, central bank. Understand? And in India, it is a system of 200 crores currency printing at a time, and it is printed by way of minimum reserve requirement, means reserve of gold or forex is kept against printing of currency. Understand? So this is the primary function, the main function of central bank. Now the second one, central bank or RBI is the government's bank and advisor. Just like we people are having our banks, like commercial banks, PNB, SBI, ICICI Bank, the government is having a bank, own bank, that is RBI. RBI keeps the deposits of the government and gives loans to the government. It also acts an advisor, financial advisor to the government. In the hours, in the time of crisis, it advises the government of monetary policy, of fiscal policies, of taxation, everything. It is advised by the RBI. So RBI is the advisor, financial advisor, as well as the banker of the government. Means it acts as a bank for the government. Whenever government in crisis, it goes to RBI and gets loan. Okay. The next one is bankers bank and supervisor. It is very important function. Just like we are having commercial bank as our bankers, our bankers, the commercial bankers, they are having their bank in central bank, RBI. So they keep reserves in them, they work under them, because it is also a supervisor. RBI is the supervisor of commercial banks. Okay, so commercial banks act under RBI. Just like I have told you, CBSE is running schools. All schools have to abide, have to follow the rules of CBSE. Commercial banks, they have to obey the rules of central bank. Okay, central banks fix their interest rate, central banks fix their LRR, central banks fix their margin requirements. So everything is fixed by the central bank, and commercial banks have to follow them. And the major thing is that it acts like an umbrella body. Means in the time of crisis, if any bank is facing financial crisis, it goes to Reserve Bank and gets loan and gets financial help. So RBI or central bank is the lender of last resort for commercial banks. No commercial bank can be finished, because there is the help of central bank. So central bank acts as a banker and supervisor for the commercial banks. The last and main function of central bank is controller of credit. It acts as a controller, because money supply, credit supply in the economy may lead to inflation, may lead to deflation. If the money supply is less, it will go to the deflation, okay, mandi, and in the hours of inflation, price rise, money supply will be high. So central bank has to keep a balance. For this balance, central bank has the tools of quantitative control and qualitative control. Central bank may increase the money supply by way of bank rate. Bank rate is the rate at which commercial banks deposit money, at which central bank gives loans to the commercial banks. If central bank wants to reduce the money supply, it increases the bank rate, so that commercial banks will be getting less loans. They will be, this will lead to less loans to the public also. Same way, OMO, open market operations. Central bank may go to the exchange market, in the market, to buy back, to sell the securities of the government, so that extra money can be coming back to the government, or more money can be introduced in the market. LRR, legal reserve requirement, I have told you, if it is 20%, bankers can give loan 80%. If we want to control inflation, we will increase it. It will be 25%, then banks will be able to give loans 75%. So this directly controls the money supply. The last one is margin requirement. It is the gap between the collateral security amount and the loan. If you want to control inflation, you will increase it. If you want to control deflation, you will decrease it. Okay, increasing will lead to more loans, decreasing will lead to less loans. Then qualitative control of credit, qualitative control of money supply. This can be done with moral suasion. Many times the government or the central bank gives notices, gives circulars of giving or not providing loans to this type of institutions, not giving loans to this type of institutions like pubs, like wine and whiskey business, and so many other businesses which are harmful for the society. The central bank may deny, may forbid the loans to those institutions. This is moral suasion. And selective credit, sometimes government may give selective loans to selective institutions, selective industries. This leads to qualitative control of the money supply. See, this is the main portion which will be coming in the exam. Central bank, its 4 functions of issue of currency, government's bank and advisor, bankers bank and supervisor, then controller of credit. Hope everything is clear. Okay, so this is the chapter money and banking. In money we understood the functions of money, and in banking we understood the banking, the monetary system of our country, commercial banks and central bank. Hope everything is clear to you. If there is any problem, you may ask me, I'll make it clear in the coming videos. Thank you.